Hi everyone. I'm going to be talking to you about what we're going to be doing today, which is una presentación oral, o sea, una comparación cultural. Y vamos a usar la diagrama de Venn que hicimos ayer para esta comparación cultural. Entonces, durante la comparación cultural vas a hablar por 2 minutos comparando y contrastando tu comunidad con un país hispanohablante. Como en este caso, vamos a comparar los Estados Unidos con Colombia. Y el tema es el tratamiento de inmigrantes. So I'm just going to go through this presentation, part in English, part in Spanish. The presentation itself is in Spanish, but I just want to make sure that you all understand. So what's going to happen is you're going to have 4 minutes to prepare, and then you're going to speak for 2 minutes. Today we're going to use Explain Everything, and I'll talk to you about that further in a second. This is kind of like a really compacted version of a persuasive essay. So it's a basic thing, except you're talking and it's only for 2 minutes. So just like we did in the persuasive essay, you're going to use a formal register, and you're not going to use tu, te, tu. Here it talks about the basic instructions, which says compare some cultural traits of the community of the student with some area of a Spanish-speaking country with which you are familiar. You may cite examples from materials that you have read, heard, or seen, and you can also use experience and observation and personal observations. In this case, we're just using what we saw in the video yesterday compared with what you've seen or what you've heard about immigration in the United States. You must demonstrate understanding of the culture of the Spanish-speaking country. Again, you watch an 8-minute video, you only have to speak for 2 minutes. So you don't have to be an expert, but you're going to speak as if you were. And your presentation must be organized just as if it were a persuasive essay. You're going to speak for 2 minutes. You have to keep talking, and you must include details and examples just like you would in a persuasive essay. To be successful at this, you need to use varied vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, speak with good pronunciation. You must use transition words like primero, segundo, para empezar, para continuar, también, además, things like that, like we went over in the persuasive essay. And if you do hear yourself make a mistake, go ahead and correct it. That's exactly what we want to hear during this 2-minute presentation. Let's see. So here we have a different example, and our prompt is a bit different, but this one is talking about compare the grading system of your school with one of the grading systems of a Spanish-speaking country. So that's a good example of a question that might come up when we do other examples. But what we're going to do is compare the treatment of immigrants in your community with that of another Spanish-speaking country, in this case, Colombia. And so it's talking about using an organizer to organize your thoughts. We have already made a Venn diagram, so we've already kind of gotten a little bit of preparation before we started, so we're going to use that today. But what I'd like you to do, and I'm just going to give you 4 minutes to prepare, okay? I would like you to write a thesis statement, and you must answer, again, the thesis statement answers the question, okay? Which in this case is not really a question, but I'm going to give you some examples here so I won't confuse you. You must include an introduction, which is just going to be 2 sentences. It's going to be 1-sentence introduction, thesis statement, and then your body is picking maybe 2 or 3 reasons, 2 or 3 things to compare and contrast. You could talk about, for example, you could talk about like what we saw in the video yesterday with the Venezuelans that are crossing into the Colombian border. You could talk about the families that are taking them in. That could be kind of one reason, and then just come up with a few others that you could kind of clear little mini topics that you could discuss here, and you'll have like a 1-sentence conclusion. Again, this is 2 minutes. It's very fast. Here's some expressions that'll help you correct errors. Like if you hear yourself make an error, you can go, o sea, that is, or digo, or mejor dicho. These are expressions that you can use when you're pausing. You speak así que, entonces, when you're trying to think of something to say, pues, además. We have vocabulary for comparison, por un lado, on one hand, por otro lado, on the other hand, en comparación con, etc. And I'll give you access to this. Se parece a, mejor, aunque, although. So this is a good more vocabulary for comparing. Continues here. I'm going to go down here. Okay, and then we have several examples of possible introductions. And again, this is with the previous topic that I discussed about the grading topic, but you can just, you're welcome today just to use any of these, and just insert our topic inside of it. But it says, hay muchas maneras de calificar los exámenes en el mundo. En esta presentación se hablará del sistema de los Estados Unidos y de México. So there are many ways of grading tests in the world. This presentation will talk about the United States and Mexico. So you could do that, except you could just put treatment of immigrants. Hay muchas maneras de tratar a los inmigrantes en el mundo. There are very different ways of treating immigrants in the world. This presentation will speak of the United States and of Colombia. So you got several really good ones here. You can look through those. You're welcome just to steal one today. We've got another two on this page here. So look at one that you like, and you're welcome to copy it down as your introduction sentence. In the future, you'll be writing your own, but this is our first time, so it's fine to go ahead and steal that. And you'll come up with a thesis statement, and we have some examples. Again, you're welcome to steal them today. So we have the grading system in my school is at the same time different and similar to that of Venezuela. So you could say, el tratamiento de inmigración en mi comunidad es a la vez diferente y parecido. Is at the same time different and similar to that of Colombia. Okay. That would be a good thesis statement. Hay muchas diferencias y semejanzas en los sistemas de calificación de los Estados Unidos. So there are many differences and similarities in el tratamiento de inmigración de los Estados Unidos y Colombia. And so these continue on. Again, you can read through them and pick one. And then as you're developing, as you're going through in the body of this, you're going to just kind of compare and contrast a few different things. So you're going to use your Venn diagram to talk about the differences and the similarities and just kind of go back and forth. So you know, just make sure that you're using those connector vocabularies. We're not going to talk about this too much today. We're just going to kind of go for it, and then in the future we will kind of expound on this a little bit more, but you're welcome to read through this to get some ideas. And then you'll have like a one sentence conclusion if you get to it. If you don't get to it, that's okay. So this is a good one. Como se puede ver, as you can see, there are many similarities and differences in the grading systems in the United States. Numbers are more used than letters, while numbers are used just as much as letters, while in other countries they just use numbers. And this one is more simple down here, the second one. Thank you for your presence today, and once again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak with you about this topic. That's a good one to use as well. Okay, so in the conclusion, you're just reaffirming your thesis in other words. So I know this is a little bit rushed today, and it's the first time, so no pressure. We're just going to do the best we can. I'm going to give you some time to prep, and then when I say go, we're going to use that to explain everything to record your 2 minutes.